Welcome to the Community Difference-Rockwall. Powered by the Difference Media LLC. And sponsored by Delisa Lapinsky Realty Group. B1 Bank. Compass Facilities Consulting. The One Group with Town Square Mortgage. Barnaby Heating and Air. Minuteman Press of Rockwall. And by WeatherTech General Contracting.
The Community Difference-Rockwall was created to serve as a platform for local leaders and business professionals to showcase their expertise, values, and commitment to their community. Overall, the podcast aims to create a stronger sense of community in North Texas by highlighting the often overlooked or unnoticed good work being done by local leaders, businesses, and professionals.
So sit back and relax as our host, co-host, and their guests share inspirational stories, experiences, thoughts and insights about being a professional, along with the opportunities for our businesses to serve our communities in very special ways. Because the Community Difference-Rockwall starts now.
Hey, welcome everybody to the Community Difference-Rockwall. I am Delisa Lapinsky. I am your host for today and every week. So if this is your first time joining us, we are a community show that spotlights businesses, local business leaders, entrepreneurs, local nonprofits, and we really just want to talk about what's going on in the community. Now, each month we have a different topic that we will talk about. We also have our rotating co-host. That we have different co-hosts every single week. And now this week's topic is going to be building a strong team and fostering a positive workplace culture within your local business. Now, I got to tell you, I am super excited about this show. We've got two amazing guests. I tell you what, our co-host just knocked it out of the park this week with bringing in these two guests, because I promise you, you can expect a lively and fun conversation today. So before we bring in our guests, I want to go ahead and introduce you to our two co-hosts. We've got Alan Lester with Town Square Mortgage. Hey, Alan, how's it going?
It's going awesome. How are you?
And good. And then Charles Barnaby with Barnaby Heat and Air. So you guys doing good today?
Doing good.
Awesome. Awesome. All right. Now it's spring break. Now, Charlie, I don't know if this really affects you. It doesn't affect me, but do you guys have any plans during spring break?
No, we don't. We're taking care of my stepmother right now. So we're kind of locked and loaded.
Yeah, I hear you on that. Alan, how about you? You got anything planned for this week?
Yeah, my youngest is 16. So basically I've actually used this week to jump in and actually work a little more on networking. So just adding to the fun.
Man, 16. I don't miss those years. I really don't. My daughter is 28 years old. So, I mean, she's off adulting on her own. So I don't have to worry too much about stuff like that, you know?
Yeah, but at 16, they don't care anything about you anymore as parents. So,
and you know absolutely nothing, right?
We're dumb. They want the keys to the car and a gas card.
Exactly.
That's what I was going to say. You're just the dumb roommate is all you are.
Right? Exactly. So like I said earlier, my name is Delisa Lapinsky. I am with eXp Realty. I'm a local realtor here in the Rockwall area, serving all parts around the Rockwall area. And I'm just really excited to have these two guys on. Alan and Charlie, I'm going to let you guys tell everybody about you and what you do. And we'll go ahead and we'll start with Alan, since you're up in my top corner.
All right. Well, hey guys, I'm Alan Lester with Town Square Mortgage. I am a branch manager. I guess been here about 5 years, but in the business 22 years. I basically specialize in everything residential in terms of, primary residence all the way to investment property and multiplex. We do have products that can help with commercial type stuff, but since I'm in the business for relationships, I'd rather keep my relationship good and refer those clients off that I can't help, and let the expert help with that. So ultimately, I'm just looking to build relationships and have long-lasting ones.
Well, and that's what we're all about here at the Community Difference, is building those relationships with businesses and our leaders here in the community. All right, Charlie, tell us a little bit about you.
Charles Barnaby on Barnaby Heating and Air with my wife, Debbie. We've been helping people in the Rowlett, Garland, all this area with their HVAC needs for about 20 years now. And we're still going strong. Love doing it every day. Would love to have, if you have any problems, give us a call.
Absolutely. All right, guys. So I'm so excited. And if this show ends up being half of what it was backstage, we are going to have a fabulous time. Our viewers and our listeners are really going to be in for a treat. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and bring out our guests. We've got Amy Wilkins and Erin Withrow. Now we're going to start with the ladies first. So Amy, welcome to the show.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
Oh, we're excited to have you. So tell us a little bit about you.
Okay. My name is Amy Wilkins. I'm the Chief Nursing Officer and Vice President of Patient Care at Baylor Scott and White Medical Center in Lake Pointe in Rowlett. We also have our freestanding EDs in Wiley and also in Forney. So that is my role and position.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for joining us. All right. And Mr. Withrow, will you go ahead and tell us a little bit about you?
Hey, Delisa. Hey, everybody. I'm Aaron. I'm with Doc's Roofing, but more than that, I'm a veterans advocate in the area. Plugged into a lot of different veteran avenues. It's my passion and it's my project. So it's kind of a community advocate and a professional leader. I'm excited to be here.
Well, and you're actually also representing another group too that I'm a part of, and that's the Lakeside Leaders, right?
Yep. So Lakeside Leaders, let me show you how to take $100 and turn it into $10,000 for a nonprofit in the area.
I love
pretty exciting.
That.
Yeah.
Yes, I love that. So before we get into our first break, I just got a couple of questions for you guys. All right. Now, Amy, I understand that you may potentially know Erin from a while back.
A long while. Yeah. About 14 years. We worked at Baylor Dallas together. I've been with Baylor Scott and White coming up on 15 years, and Erin and I served the Dallas community together.
So I have a feeling you probably have some pretty good stories to share about him.
Hey, Delisa.
But is it listener appropriate? That's no.
Nothing that the Baylor legal team was allowed to talk about. Yeah.
No, he's a
Delisa, one thing Amy's
worker. Yeah.
One thing Amy's not sharing is she was named in the top 100 nurses for DFW.
I was.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Wow. Congratulations. That's huge, Amy.
Thank you. What was even more special for me was it was actually one of our charge nurses. It was a frontline staff member that submitted the nomination. And so it made it just that much more humbling. It's very humbling serving alongside such a great team.
Well, and that's pretty special to receive the nomination from one of your frontline people. I mean, that speaks highly of you as an administrator, as a supervisor. So I definitely think that you are going to be the right person to talk about our topic of the month. That's for sure. So tell me about this. Now you're at Lake Pointe, correct? Now, how long have you been at Lake Pointe?
So I started here August of 2021, right? I started on Monday and bringing up the bad C word, the COVID, but the Delta variant. So I started Monday, Delta showed up on Friday. So I hit the ground running full force. So taking care of the community and supporting the nurses that were taking care of the patients.
I was about to say that was a little trial by fire there, wasn't it?
I prefer it that way. I'd rather jump in. Everything, that's fine. I do better that way. My clinical background's ER trauma. That's how Erin and I know each other, is emergency services. So
that's very cool. Very cool. So
let me interject something on that. When I met Amy for the first time, I had just gotten back from Iraq. So what was weird about my employment at Baylor Dallas, I moved from Baylor Garland to downtown. because I made a decision to marry one of the nurses within the system. And so because nurses, husbands and wives can't work together, I get back from Iraq and most of the people don't know me. And we walk right into Ebola.
Oh, that's right.
That's right. That's right when Ebola was breaking out. So, and we kicked that one's butt too. So it's kind of funny. She's walking into the CNO position with COVID, but we've been through some battles together. Flu A, swine, avian, Ebola. Not a big deal.
Now, when H1N1 came out, I was still frontline staff there. We were in Colorado. I pulled Denver, Colorado's very first H1N1 out of the car. Didn't know that's what he had when that happened, but that was me.
Yep.
Now, and your wife, Erin, works at Lake Pointe as well.
My wife?
Right?
You talking about my wife?
I love your wife.
Basically, secretly runs the
Charlie's
whole
wife
hospital.
too.
My wife. If she runs that hospital the way she runs our household, yeah, she's there. So my wife has been a long time emergency nurse, just like Amy, but where Amy kind of went into the leadership route, Kim just kept plugging away at different certifications, and she wound up with Baylor Reward staff, where she was one of the nurses that could go to any Baylor ER. And so this is, she's actually doing the next level up, which is trauma registry. So collecting all those stats and making sure that the traumas are getting better and that we're responding better. So really proud of her.
That's fantastic. So I'll tell you what, guys, we're going to take a break. And when we get back, we're going to talk about what's happening here in Rockwall with our What's Up Rockwall section. So stick around and we will see you in a minute.
Let's do this.
Community Difference-Rockwall is brought to you in part by Alan Lester, loan officer with the One Group with Town Square Mortgage. Delisa Lapinsky with Lapinsky Realty Group. Frank McLeod with Minuteman Press. Kane Pierce, Vice President and Commercial Banker for B1 Bank. Charles Barnaby with Barnaby Heating and Air. Brian Decker with Compass Facilities Consulting. And Josh Small with WeatherTech General Contracting. If you, or someone you know would like to sponsor, or be a co-host sponsor of this show, or other shows like it, please give us a call at 972-866-4596 or email us at info@thedifferenceradio.com. And now, back to the show. What's up, Rockwall?
All right, so we've got some cool things actually that are happening around the Rockwall area. And I'm going to start out by wishing everybody a happy National Pie Day. So it is Pie Day. And y'all remember that's going to have something to do with one of our rapid fire questions near the end of the show. So who wants to start first with what's up going on Rockwall? Alan, how about you want to go first? You're muted, Alan.
I was hoping y'all could read lips. So one of our other co-hosts, Frank McLeod, helped share this with me. But Rockwall tonight has a chamber mixer at the Hilton CMB Scene Bar at 5 p.m. So it's open to chamber members and non-chamber members.
Okay.
So I've got another one, and I'm only going to talk about this because I won't be on again before that. But I am a blue tie guy for the Children's Advocacy Center. And on March 28th, there's going to be the kickoff meeting for the Go Blue for Kids kickoff party at Standard Service from 4 to 7:30. I tried to be the Easter Bunny and they wouldn't let me because they wanted me to actually be walking around with my blue tie guy shirt on, but we're excited about that. And it's going to be an amazing event that we'd love everybody to come to.
Good job.
Oh, that's cool. I've already written it down on my calendar. I will definitely be there for that. All right, Charlie, what about you? You got anything happening over here in Rockwall, Rowlett area?
Every Monday in Rowlett through March, they have a lunch on the lawns in the green area of downtown Rowlett where they bring in food trucks. It's pretty cool. You know, they have some decent food down there and kind of get to see people running around. Hadn't heard of much else going on with them right now.
Erin or Amy, do you guys know of anything that's happening around the area?
I don't. Besides what they do about the chamber event, that's.
So I've got a couple of things. Actually, I've got a few. Now, this one is very close and very special to my heart. You guys know I'm really involved with Patriot Paws. Patriot Paws Service Dogs is having their graduation next week on the 22nd, so March 22nd at 1:30, and it is at Patriot Paws Service Dogs. So there we have 4 veterans that will be receiving their service dogs. I plan on being there. I encourage you guys to come out, bring a box of tissues, because it is just an amazing event. This Saturday at the castle in Rockwall, and yes, it really is a castle. We've got Bunko and Bubbles, so that does support the CAC as well. It's going to be it starts at 10 a.m. So this Saturday. Now this one's pretty cool. This is a fellow realtor friend of mine, Sarah Naylor. She does a egg drop. And so on March 30th at Tate Farms, they're going to be doing an Easter egg drop where they actually drop the Easter eggs out of a helicopter for all of the kids. A lot of fun. So that starts at 9 a.m. on March 30th. And then this Saturday, the 16th, over at Rossi Vineyards, is their second annual crawfish bowl. Now, I won't be attending that because I do not like those little mug bugs, but I will go for the wine. You know what I'm saying? Mug bugs. So we've definitely got a few things that are going on this weekend. Hey, Aaron, do you know of anything that's happening around as well?
So yes, please log into Facebook on this. The live feed is going strong, but I'm putting these in the messages so that people can come back and take a look. Definitely want to go with the Patriots Pour every Wednesday, 4 to 6. Today, we're actually going to roll over to the chamber happy hour if everybody wants to. Very casual group in order to get to meet the Lakeside leaders. So definitely come and check that out. But we switch out the nonprofit every month. Definitely want to throw a shout out to Patriot Paws Clay Shoot, which is next month. I know that's coming up fast, but now's the time to sign up if you want to go shoot some guns and snuggle some puppies. And then I always tell people way ahead in advance, taking it down a notch, Memorial Day weekend. That is when we pay respect to the fallen. It's not a mattress sale. It's not a video release weekend. It's a very solemn and celebration of life of those that have given up that last final measure. That's first responders and veterans. So if you don't have plans Memorial Day weekend, definitely give me a holler. We're going to be all over the place. Carry the load. It's one of my big passions. We walk, we remember, and that's coming up pretty fast as well. So
Awesome.
That's fantastic.
April, I'm just going to go and throw it one more time. April is the month of children. So definitely the CASA and the Blue Tie guys, I like to make sure that the focus goes in on April to taking care of the kids. So
yes, absolutely. As a matter of fact, I'm going to be attending an event this evening for the education.
So right now, Farah Brabson put in Bunko and Bubbles benefits Lone Star CASA March 23rd.
Yep, absolutely. Yes. And that's, like I said, it's going to be at the castle in Rockwall. And if y'all haven't ever been to the castle in Rockwall, that's a really cool place.
Mm-hmm. Is that with the llamas?
Huh?
Is that with the llamas? That's a different castle.
Yeah, that's a different
Another castle that's got llamas. Shangri-La. That's right.
Yeah, Shangri-La. Yeah, no. This is where we went for that wedding vow renewal.
Oh, that's right. The Rannigans.
After I'd had my knee surgery. Yeah. Yeah. So it's a really cool place. If you guys can go and check that out, support a couple of fabulous organizations, that would be very cool.
Brilliant.
All right. So let's start talking. Let's get to know you guys a little bit better. Okay. And Amy, like I said, we always start with the ladies first. Okay. So you've been in your profession, you said, for quite a long time, but what drove you to the nursing profession and then also to move into administration?
Okay, I can do that. That's a fun story. I feel like sometimes I should have like a caution tape that, if you've lost somebody in a car accident, maybe you don't want to listen to this. But so really what got me into nursing is I was going up to, I was in Tucson, driving up to church, believe it or not, with the boys. And in front of me, there was an explosion of dust and dirt, and I didn't know what was going on. I wasn't in the wreck. All of a sudden, we all came to an abrupt stop. About a minute, 2 minutes later, somebody comes banging on my window and says, "Do you know first aid? Do you know CPR?" At the time, I was not a nurse. I was in school looking at nursing, but did not know that. And I had kids, so like most people, and I hope a lot of people watching the show do have that, basic first aid, CPR, get trained. It saves lives. I had that, and so I did. I got out of the car and I looked over. Now that I'm a nurse, looking back, that victim was clearly probably dead on impact, but I didn't know that at the time, and I just knew I had no idea what to do for this person. And I promised myself that I would never ever feel that helpless and not be able to rescue or and help in a more powerful way than what it was. And very next day, literally, I wish I could have gone back and figured out who that person was and tell his family, hey, because of that tragic event, man, there's been a lot of lives saved and impacted because I came across that accident that, I couldn't do anything. I did as what I could, but there was nothing was going to be. But that's what got me into emergency nursing. And that's that. So with leadership though, I started my leadership journey at Baylor, Dallas, level 1 trauma center. And I just love and still do, it's still my passion, growing a healthy work environment, creating a healthy work environment that drives outcomes, that supports the nurses, the doctors, the techs, the medics. I love, and so that we can support our community. I got into leadership to be able to empower that front line to speak up, to make sure that we're seeing all aspects of it. And that's really what drove me into leadership, was just this overwhelming love of growing others and growing teams.
Well, and when you think about it, I mean, that truly is the ultimate team, between the doctors, the nurses, the techs. I mean, everybody has got to come together as a team because that could potentially save someone's life.
And every team member is valuable. Our EVS staff, sometimes people, they're cleaning, they're infection prevention. Do you have any idea how many infections are prevented because of the work of it? So it's not just us, it's truly everyone in this facility that creates the amazing outcomes that we've had over the last couple of years. It's everyone. Food nutrition services, your doctors, your nurses, it's everyone, our community. Yeah. So
that's really cool. Now, Erin, you do a lot with a lot of the charitable organizations, Lakeside Leaders being one. So kind of how did you get into that?
So I just have so one of the biggest things and I'm just going to go ahead and throw this out there for my veteran community. Our veteran community has a real problem. And what that problem is, it's called task, mission, and purpose. We put a little finger on it with a lot of our inner circle. And when you leave military service, there's this sense of loss of task, mission, and purpose. I was part of a greater machine that served this country in a very critical role. But like Amy said, from top to bottom, it's all critical. It's all crucial, super critical. From the person that changes out the beds the correct way so that we stop the spread of infection, all the way up to the 20-year doctor who has spent his life educating themselves to become the premier doctor of their specialty. It's all crucial. So, on the military side, the guy that flies out in the helicopter like me, all the way up to the generals at the Pentagon, trying to decide policy and how we're going to conduct this war. It's super critical. And then you're let loose on the world, and I'll just use me as a purpose or as an example. I'm a roofer. And for a time that becomes a loss of task, mission, and purpose. But then I start realizing I'm doing a job I really like. I like roofing. It's fun. It's a complicated problem that I'm uniquely suited to fix. But what I do in roofing allows me to create time, flexibility, and money to get tapped into the communities that I give a crap about. American Legion and the Marine Corps League and, Patriots Poor and all these different things that can help other veterans get to a good place. And, my leadership skills, I find myself in a really cool place where I am uniquely suited to both lead and be led, and as a sergeant in the Army, that's essentially what a lot of people miss out. Everybody wants to drive the car, but I'm perfectly fine being the goose that looks up directions. I'm a leader. I have critical skills. I'm not questioning where we need to go, but then also I'm okay with turning around and smacking your children because they're being loud in the car. So I'm okay with this. I will help you get to your destination, but I will also smack your children because I can do that for you. So I like leading, but I also like being led. And that was great. Working with Amy, great example. Emergency medicine, that's combat. It's chaos. And it's our job to take that first level of chaos and make some sort of sense and order to it, taking this trauma, this high emotion, and start funneling it into a systematic process of healing. But you've got to be able to be adaptable to it. My nurses, they've been this was my favorite part, talking to a nurse that is fresh out of school with all this education. And I'm just coming back from a year in a combat zone, but technically I'm here and they're here. And how do I lead up? It's a huge skill. Yes, taking leadership from my nurse, who is definitely in charge. She's the one on the chart, but also using my experience and leading them to making the right decisions. Like, maybe we want to start this line now, things like that. I love leadership. This is why I was so excited to be on here today. Leadership is my Jimmy Jam.
I love it.
Good.
Yeah, you can smack my kid anytime you want.
I would smack your children. Now, your child is like close to 30, but I'll smack her if she's being loud in the back of the car.
Right. Right. All right. So we're going to take a real quick break, but when we get back, we're going to talk a little bit more in depth with Amy and with Aaron, and we're going to learn a little bit more about them and kind of what makes them tick and who they are. So you guys stick around. I know we're going to have a lot of fun when we get back.
And now a word from a few of our amazing sponsors that make the Difference Radio, live stream, and podcast network possible.
JP Direct Health offers affordable health insurance solutions for individuals, families, and small businesses specializing in custom coverages to fit your needs and budget. JP Direct Health offers comprehensive benefits, including PPO health plans, accident and critical illness coverage, dental and vision, health matching accounts, along with telehealth at no cost per call. Call JP Direct Health today to learn more about how we can help you protect your health and your budget.
Do you want your home or office to sparkle? Then call Elite Diamond Cleaning today. From basic cleaning to deep cleaning, and using only the highest quality cleaning products and equipment, your satisfaction is guaranteed. Our team of experienced cleaners will work quickly and efficiently to clean every nook and cranny, taking care of all the details so you don't have to. With a variety of pricing options to fit any budget, you can be sure that you are getting the best possible price. Call Elite Diamond Cleaning today at 214-300-9876 to schedule a free estimate. Your home and office is a diamond. Let us get it out of the dust.
Frisco Fighters prepare to reach new heights at Comerica Center this spring. From competitive matchups to exciting theme nights, you won't want to miss a second of the action. Join us and experience high-scoring, hard-hitting indoor football that's fun for the whole family to enjoy. Visit FriscoFighters.com for game highlights, tickets, or to reserve your spot at the Tarmac Tailgate Party. Frisco Fighters, fly with us.
Are you looking to buy a home? The process can be daunting, but it doesn't have to be. With the help of a qualified loan officer like Paul Fisher, you can get the financing you need and get into your dream home. Paul Fisher, a direct local lender with Certainty Home Lending, has many years of experience helping people buy homes. He's knowledgeable, experienced, and he'll work with you to find the best loan for your needs. Contact Paul Fisher today to get started on your home buying journey. He'll help you every step of the way, so you can relax and focus on finding your dream home. Visit www.loansbyfisher.com or call 308-7361 to schedule a consultation with Paul. MLS number 2018111. Are you a business owner looking to grow your company? Get fast, easy financing up to $5 million with no minimum FICO score required. Apply in 60 seconds and get funded in 24 hours. Call Jim Thomas at 214-629-7223 to talk to a financing professional today. Your business's future is waiting. So don't delay. Call now and tell him that you saw him on The Difference.
And now back to the show.
All right, welcome back, guys. So we're going to get to know Amy and Aaron a little bit more before we dig into this month's topic in a little bit. So I've got a real quick question for both of you guys. If there's one thing that you guys could change about Rockwall, what would that be?
I mean, I feel like infrastructure, here's the thing, post pandemic, I don't think anybody anticipated the amount of migration that we have had to the Rockwall County area. But the roads, like right now, I guess I'm thinking, like one of my pet peeves is efficiency. And so sometimes when I see there's just so much, I think the traffic, if I could pick one thing, now that's structural. Like if you talk about people, I'm going to have to agree with Aaron with a lot of the veterans pieces. My husband is 100% disabled veteran, U.S. Marine Corps. We've got some resources. We have truly, and I know this from nursing and my profession, is Rockwall County has the highest amount of veterans living in the state of Texas. And we have some gaps. And I would love to see more, as we've got a lot of great organizations that are supporting them. We're missing some services I think that we could improve on as a whole.
Aaron, how about you?
Aaron? I don't know. There's a couple of things. Obviously the Lake Ray Hubbard barrier creates a real good cornhole. You either go through 40, you go through 30, or you try to fight your way through 66. Creates a bit of a geographic isolating line between what we look East Texas. I always tell people when they ask, Rockwall is essentially the keyhole to East Texas, because you either are looking towards Dallas for commerce, business, pleasure, whatever, or you're looking to East Texas for commerce, business, or pleasure. And so Rockwall is just one of those really cool places. I got to give Rockwall props. I like the way that we plan and zone our municipal system.
100%.
Things get, we're looking for tax revenue, but we have not sold out. Rockwall has not overly just taken everything and overpopulated itself. The density growth, it's always going to be a struggle. How many people want to live here? Can we support them with first response? Can we support them with schools? Basic economics. Stuff that we should be teaching in school. But I was very fortunate to go to Leadership Rockwall through the chamber and go to that tech school. So I like more of the positive attitude. When I was in high school, I didn't get to do that stuff. You got high school juniors and seniors that are getting to learn how to be news broadcasters or do large scale textile development or computer programming, stuff like that. Like, that is amazing. When I was going through school, it was HOSA, the healthcare, that was for girls that maybe wanted to be nurses, or you were a cowboy and maybe wanted to be a cowboy. So you went to 4-H and that's it. Now you can pretty much do whatever you want to. And I think that's brilliant. So changes in Rockwall. I'd like to see more people vote. I think voting is the 100% expression of American freedoms that we all support. So seeing people only being proud of a 20% turnout at the polls is a little embarrassing. So I'll just throw that out there as like a guilty mom verdict. Please go vote. If you don't vote, don't bitch.
I agree with you.
Sorry.
Exactly right.
I agree with you on that 100%. I bet less than 5% of the registered voters in Rowlett get off their lazy butts and go vote. But then exactly what you said, they want to squawk and pee and moan about everything. I'll tell them, if you didn't vote, I don't want to hear it.
It's like telling your children, you don't like dinner, go get a job.
That's it.
So,
Don't like it here, move out.
hell, I'll help you move.
Yeah.
So that's my change.
Awesome. Awesome. Okay. So I'm going to ask you this, Amy. How do you define success in your role?
So I feel that if I've created, and it's not me creating, but if I've supported the creation of, I guess is what I meant by that, an environment where our frontline, our leaders, the entire organization feels like they have a voice, they can speak up, and we're driving patient outcomes, meaning you got exactly the kind of care that you needed, the best outcome possible given your diagnosis and situation, because we've created a culture and an environment and a learning atmosphere where that can be accomplished. That's that to me, that's success. If I've empowered my nurses and they're growing and they're staying, they inspire me every day. I mean, we are blessed with the nurses that we have in this hospital.
I will say that my mother-in-law has been there a couple of times in the last few months, and every time that I've been there visiting or whatever it might be, that they've been so responsive and respectful, and have nothing but good things to say about them for sure.
Thank you.
That's
and I'll jump on that one as well. I grew up there. I grew up on Dow Rock and Miller with a sick dad. My pops wound up in a pesticide and landscaping, a lot of chemical use back in the early 80s. And so when we moved to Dow Rock and Miller area back in 85, 86, Lake Pointe was the only hospital for around. Way before it was Baylor, Scott and White. And yeah, the metrics of success, that's a hospital that even when I was in EMS with Rockwall County, that was a hospital that you wanted to go to. Trauma rated, ready for strokes, ready for everything. Obviously, there's world-class neurosurgeons downtown. There's world-class burn unit at Parkland. But for this corridor, Lake Pointe was the stopping point. And yeah, that's a metric of success, Amy. I would say that, especially since, in your tenure, that's a place that people feel comfortable and safe going to. And that's where my dad goes. And they're still right there off Dow Rock and Miller.
They've done we've done such a great job. You guys, there's a nursing shortage, but I'm here to tell you at Lake Pointe, we don't have one single RN traveler. And what the biggest compliment I think that we've had is our last nursing orientation onboarding. We had 3 travelers that were here at some point, and this is where they chose to come back to work. And to me, that says that they've been all over the United States, some of them in the world, and they came home here. So thank you.
And that is huge, because I know I have several friends that are nurses, and that they want to be the traveling nurse because they don't want to be tied down to one specific hospital because they're afraid of what they'll get stuck with. So to have 3 traveling nurses want to call that home, that speaks volumes of what you guys are doing at Lake Pointe.
Yeah.
Speaks volumes.
We're pathways to excellence. And so we're the only one in Rockwall County that has that designation from ANCC. We're going to be February of 2025. We're looking at magnet with distinction. And really, if you just think about that word magnet, it just means we are going to retain the nurses that we have and be a magnet to draw others in because of our outcomes and nursing driven processes. So it's pretty exciting.
That's really neat. All right. I'm going to ask one more question really before we go to our next break. And this one's just going to be kind of a light, fun one. But when we get back from the break, we really are going to dig deep into our monthly topic. Okay. So Amy, we'll start with you again.
Hey.
All right. What is a little known fact about you that our listeners would find interesting?
So I'm a nurse, and I'm definitely better outdoors, but I think what's interesting, I guess, is I actually have hours logged as on a helicopter, R-22. Yeah, I know. Aaron did not know. Yeah. So I loved it. I felt that was an amazing feeling, being able to and also petrified at the same time. I have a lot of respect for our pilots now, but yeah, so I've got some hours logged on a helicopter.
So you didn't go ahead and get your license?
I didn't. I chose a doctorate to work on instead. So
that's fun.
Nice.
That's funny because my daughter is working on getting her pilot's license right now. I think it's a cool thing. I think it's just, as a parent, I'm nervous as all get out, but I think it's just something that will be really cool for her to have that a lot of people don't have, and just to have those experiences. Of course, Aaron, I saw,
I was taught by an ER doctor who has his pilot's license and training license. So that was also what was super cool about that. So yeah.
Yeah, Aaron, I saw you kind of just jump there when she talked about.
I was shocked. I didn't know. That's pretty awesome. Yeah, never knew. Now, if she'd have told me she drove a tank, I could have believed that. We definitely had a doctor that one time drove his toy tank up to the emergency room. Goes back to those stories that we know that we, but there's a particular doctor with a beautiful mustache that one time he drove his tank to the ER because he could.
All right, Aaron, I'm almost afraid to ask you this question just because we never know where it's going to go. But what is a little known fact about you that our listeners might find interesting?
Oh man. Let's go. I'll just, since it's on the top of the head, with Amy getting her doctorate, when I got back from Afghanistan, I was supposed to go to med school. And now I'm a roofer. So I had everything lined up. I was one of the very first medics to give whole blood in flight. And that is a doctor and high-level nursing skill. So allowing a paramedic in the back of the helicopter in Afghanistan, which of course you can do a lot more on the military side. I was involved in some of the white papers and reviews. It was a big controversial thing, but it was a very big success. We took our death rate, our morbidity and mortality from 89% to 95%. 6%. If I could get you to the emergency room in Kandahar, here's another fun fact. Okay, I love this one. When I was leaving Afghanistan, at one point, another tech from the emergency room that Amy worked with, and the doctor in the emergency room, Dr. Berger, were all in Kandahar, Afghanistan at the same time. Kind of neat.
That just sounds like
Baylor employees from Baylor, Dallas, all hanging out halfway across the world. But yeah, all those staff reports and working with Bagram and doing the morbidity reviews and was this effective and was this not, left me with 3 good recommendations to go to the Army's med school. And at one point I was kind of heading that route, but I just really felt there was a need for good roofing and construction in the Rockwall community. And that's why I'm here.
Sounds like a car salesman there.
Right?
But Aaron,
it's hail season, baby. I got to plug it.
Aaron, what did stop that route towards med school?
Honestly, I was just getting a little bit burned out on medicine. I stopped. I'm not ashamed of this one. It was my wife and I finding I was a little less empathetic and a little less tough-skinned. I was looking for that task, mission, and purpose. And I just wasn't as happy in medicine anymore. I still love it. I love talking it. I like being asked, and I love good, functional medicine. Functional medicine still makes me super passionate. I like talking about it. Healthy living, healthy lifestyle, but I wasn't in it to win it. And I definitely didn't want to move to the East Coast with Kim for the next 15 years while I went through med school and the Army dime. Just wasn't the right time. And so, it was just kind of the universe talking. I never would have met Miss Delisa.
There you
go. Now we're the best of friends.
That's right. All right, guys, we're going to need to take another break. But when we get back, y'all get ready because we're going to really start talking about building a strong team and fostering a positive workplace culture within our local businesses. So stick around. I have a feeling that this one's going to be pretty good. We'll see you in a minute.
The Community Difference is a new series of shows powered by the Difference Radio live stream and podcast network. This series of shows was designed to highlight the unsung heroes that call our towns and communities home. And we wanted to create a platform that brings awareness to and reminds folks of the goodness that lives within so many of us. By working with the local community leaders, business owners, first responders, veterans, schools, and citizens, we want to unite with a clear and selfless purpose. The Community Difference seeks to spotlight the people, events, and activities that are producing positive outcomes, inspirational stories, and incredible experiences. In a world that is consumed with negative press, media manipulation and propaganda, The Difference, along with many others who believe and support The Difference, understands there is no better way to make the difference than to highlight the unsung heroes that call our towns and communities home. We are currently searching for local communities to be the focus of our shows, but before we can launch a show in your community, we need your help. We need you along with local business leaders, chambers of commerces, major nonprofits, online community group leaders, networking groups, etc. to join us in making the difference in helping your community be seen, be heard, and be remembered. So, if you would like to know how you, your business, school, social media community, church, or your favorite nonprofit organization can be a part of this unique and powerful program, reach out to us today and introduce yourself and let us know how you would like to contribute and bring awareness to the amazing people, places, and events that are making the difference in the community you love. You can call us at 972-866-4596 or email us at info@thedifferenceradio.com.
And now, back to the show.
All right, welcome back. So, who wants to start us off? We're going to be talking about building a team and culture in the workplace environment.
I want to start.
All right, go for it.
Y'all asked me to kind of jump back on. I've done one of these before, but this is something I get real passionate about. Building a roofing team, but leadership is kind of a jam. I read tons of books on it. I think it's the way that any organization winds up in it. And when I found out that Amy was going to be here as somebody that I used to work for and with, it was the one thing I wanted to get out there. I am a big fan of John Maxwell. There's 3 books that I go to for basic leadership principles. John Maxwell, 5 Levels of Leadership, Extreme Ownership, and Robert Cialdini's Persuasion. These are the 3 founding books to me that allow you to interact with other humans and do what needs to be done to get the mission done. And one of the things I love the most about Amy was level 1 is when you're placed in a position of leadership. So basically she comes in and she's been assigned by Baylor, Scott & White to be the CNO for Lake Pointe. But do you want to follow her? Do you following her because that's her role? Or do you follow her because you know she's the one that can do the job? And that's the hardest thing. And I find a lot of comparison between healthcare and the military is a lot of times we promote our leader and our leadership based off of their authority and experience. So I have been a medic for 20 years. Doesn't necessarily mean I'm ready for leadership. It just means I'm a damn good medic. I've been doing it a while. And the one thing I know about Amy, and especially when I was working with her down in the emergency room, you had a desire to do and follow processes and make the mission complete using her leadership because you wanted to, not because she was the boss, but because she truly led. And that is a huge step in leadership. I've applied that to my roofing side. I've applied that to the EMS side. I want to be the guy that I'm not telling you what to do. I'm telling what needs to be done, and you're following my lead because you want to. I have your permission. And John Maxwell describes that as permissive leadership. It's a solid principle, and it's something I think a lot of leaders are missing.
Wow. The kind words, that means a lot to me. I have a lot of respect for Aaron, and so that means a lot to you. So I'll pay you later for that, but no. I'm just
I'll get you my Venmo.
Well, I mean, then I guess that really does lead into the good question is, Amy, what are you doing to foster that workplace culture and to foster that team environment? Because like Aaron said, not everybody does it naturally.
So it's So I'm a woman of faith. I've coined the phrase, I'm a faith-based leader. All right. And so I rely heavily on my faith to guide and direct and steer. Other pieces with this I have to share is I listen. I think sometimes, God gave us 2 of these and 1 of these. And I think that when we slow down and listen to your teams and not listen because, okay, I heard you, but understand and then take action and then follow up. Leadership Rockwall. I'm a former former chamber director. I was on the chamber leadership team. And one of the things that we do when we have the healthcare week is they come to the hospitals, and I've created a healthy work environment presentation that my entire nursing leadership team, actually the entire facility team, has been through, but it really talks about the importance of communication, right message, right time, right place, a lot of just fundamentals that they're not hard, y'all. Like but what they are is evidence-based, and they're in the literature, and the presentation and the teaching that we do. I do that with Leadership Rockwall. It's one of the ways I love to be able to support the community is with leadership principles for business. Aaron's doc actually went through that with me. I think the first year I did it, chamber approached me again this year. We did it again this year, but it's listening, it's being proactive. And here's the thing, it's role modeling. Are you the leader? Are you walking the own walk? Like wherever business that you're in, are you role modeling the behavior that you're expecting from your team? Because you're going to have a heck of a time holding people accountable if you're not doing what you're being asked to do. I think sometimes people have great ideas and they get implemented, and then we do these change processes. And then if you had to pick one thing that happens as a leader, as a business owner, is sustainability, right? And what I've learned over the years is if you have a problem with sustainability, you have a problem with accountability. And so if you're not seeing that sustained outcome, then there's an accountability issue. Also, fear of failure. It paralyzes people. Why? I have no idea. Fail forward. It's okay to make changes. It's okay to be creative and innovative in your process. Use the literature, use your sources to come up with new ones. And if it doesn't work out, say, that didn't work. I wonder what else could, and don't do this and blame other people. A blaming culture gets no one anywhere.
Analysis paralysis.
Oh my gosh, make a decision and go. But if you create an environment where people feel like they can speak up, and in a hospital setting, safety is crucial. If you've got an environment that's not, if it's punitive versus collaborative, you're going to have a problem. And so, but I think I just meet people where they are, and it's okay. Because some people, and here's the other piece is, no matter the business, I'm here representing, Lake Pointe and healthcare, but you don't know where people worked before. You don't know what backgrounds they came from. We all probably have that traumatic leadership experience. So meet that person where they are and build that trust to get them to where you need them to be and where they need to be successful. See who they are, not what's going on. If you can see past the circumstance and see the person.
And I love healthcare leadership, if you don't mind me saying that. It's one of those things that's so hard to do. The society today is so inundated with ask your doctor about blah, blah, blah. And we won't use any actual brand names, so that way we don't get into litigation here. But you come to a healthcare authority, somebody that spent 14 years educating and becoming a leader of your healthcare, and TV has told you to walk right into that doctor's office and tell them you need this medication. And it's like, no, you don't. And people automatically assume you walk into any healthcare facility, and if you see scrubs or a coat, that is a person of authority, person of leadership. And then sometimes that leadership is not, people are not easily led. And I think a great leader is somebody that can be led as well, has the ability
100%.
Right? Because at some point, it doesn't matter if you own your own business, you're being led by somebody, whether it's the president of the United States. But at some point, there's a bigger authority that's leading you. So you have to develop this leadership style of leading and being led. And healthcare is probably one of the biggest challenges I think I've ever experienced. Hell, running a roofing company is so easy compared to that.
Well, I think all businesses have their challenges, though. Like it's. I think that you hit on a lot of key pieces. I just feel that the other thing is like your core of your mission, our core, Baylor, Scott and White, you have to believe in that mission. We never settle. We make an impact. We're in it together. We have got such strong fundamental core values that go into every single thing that we do and that we commit to. And truly, the first week when we onboard a new employee, we're asking them, here's our core. Here's Baylor Scott and White's core. How do you play into that core? What do you commit to? And I think when you take that outside of healthcare, it can be applicable anywhere, but the foundations that the organization has come up with is just tremendous. So,
and that's interesting because I do think the core values are just fundamentally, you've got to have your core values. And we were talking about this. Did another podcast earlier today, but you've got to buy into those core values. So you have to set the core values, but you have to believe in those core values. And then you have to make sure that everyone buys into those core values. But then, Amy, you said something that to me was just very profound. You've got to meet people where they are. We don't know where they've come from. And that doesn't mean that they're not going to be a good employee, but you meet them where they are, and then you bring them forward and you help them just blossom and grow and create that culture that encourages that.
Mm-hmm. And you have to hold accountability to it. And I'll tell you what, we've been at this, here at this particular organization, when we all agreed this is what our culture we want our culture to look like. And every organization goes through that. And we have a system, obviously, that we're part of, that we want to make sure that we mirror system as well, but you've got to hold accountability to it. And so, and now that we've added, when you bring somebody in that they're not role modeling that and they don't have that, man, you guys know those people, right? Like any business, they stand out when they don't do that. So then hold accountability to it. Make sure that you're expecting that. So.
Yeah, we've never run into anybody like that. And we never, ever. Lyndon just put in the chat, this is true, and this is so true. You must have people who are growth minded. They have to be growth minded, or you're going to be setting yourself up for some challenges, probably some stronger than others, but they've got to want to grow.
And in our business, somebody can die, right? Somebody can have an infection. We say zero harm for a reason. And so it's not acceptable to have a harm event and you leave in a worse situation when you entered a hospital or into a business, and it has to be a zero event. How do you do a zero event with humans that are incredibly human and make mistakes and can do that? It's accountability. It's your culture. Culture eats outcomes for breakfast every time.
Wow.
I
want to jump.
Go ahead, Lyndon.
On that real quick, because Amy just made me think of something. I've been an entrepreneur for 30 years. I've ridden that roller coaster of the up and the down and the training and the firing and the hiring and all of this. And there's so many steps and components and characteristics of being successful. But I have never in my lifetime, in trying to figure out how to lead and how to lead better and how to get people to want to be coachable and want to make changes, never thought about, think about this from our business. If we have people working for us and they don't follow the culture or they don't do what they do, what's the worst that can happen? But now I'm listening to Amy and there's lives on the line. You have to buy into the culture. You have to buy into being better. Imagine if every business had that mindset, that obviously lives aren't on the line. And well, it could be in roofing there for Aaron if you get too close to the edge, but hopefully not. The worst thing is you may get a nail through your hand or something like that. But it's just, it made me think of how kind of insignificant some of our jobs, careers, and industries are when you're thinking that if I'm an employee or I'm a leader, everything I do, the worst thing that can happen is the worst thing that can happen. and that's a lot of pressure. I mean, I just, man, I've
It's
never thought
blending
about
all
it
that
that
into
way.
a nice community piece. Amy just said it right off the bat, all the way down to our EVS, environmental services. It's critical. It is so critical. And everybody's like, well, the housekeeper, she's just changing beds. No, she's wiping it down. She's getting rid of staph infections, HIV, viruses, bacteria. She's making sure the next person that comes in doesn't get a communicable disease. She's making sure that next experience is ready to go for any type of events. What if we need to do an emergency suction to get something out of an airway? And it's real easy to get complacent. And so the job is to make sure that everybody knows that down to the last bolt and pin, it's mission critical. Like, did you know that there's one pin on the top of a helicopter that will take all 4 blades off? It's called
I'm
the Jesus
glad
pin.
I didn't have this conversation with you before I did those hours.
But it's one pin. It's called the Jesus pin, because if that Jesus pin ain't there, it just doesn't work anymore. You know how they describe a helicopter in the Army? It's 10,000 moving parts built around an oil leak, waiting for metal fatigue to set in. Real talk. But it's true. You have to make your team feel they are the most valuable people in the world. But then you balance it with a sense of humility that says you're part of a team. You're the most important part of a team of important parts. And so everybody feels mission critical. Everybody feels like they've got that role.
Awesome.
And you have to listen. I cannot. It is such an underrated, incredible leadership skill that is so actionable. And the way that you take the actions after listening is important. If you tell someone, I took care of that, but they're still seeing the same behavior, did you ever follow up with them to say, hey, I addressed this issue. How's it been going since you and I last talked? Because if they don't, our team members need that follow up and follow through to build more trust. You're not going to be able to push people for better outcomes if you can't manage what you're handling right now, and they won't trust you.
This has been some amazing stuff, guys. We're going to have to take a break real quick, but when we get back, get ready because we're going to have some fun. We've got some rapid fire questions coming at you. We'll be right
The Community Difference-Rockwall is brought to you in part by Alan Lester, loan officer with the One Group with Town Square Mortgage. Delisa Lapinsky with Lapinsky Realty Group. Frank McLeod with Minuteman Press. Kane Pierce, Vice President and Commercial Banker for B1 Bank. Charles Barnaby with Barnaby Heating and Air. Brian Decker with Compass Facilities Consulting. And Josh Small with WeatherTech General Contracting. If you, or someone you know would like to sponsor, or be a co-host sponsor of this show, or other shows like it, please give us a call at 972-866-4596 or email us at info@thedifferenceradio.com. And now, back to the show.
Are you ready?
Rapid fire.
Okay, so we're going to do some rapid fire questions and really just 1 or 2 word answer, just right off the top of your head. If you can't think of something, pass, and we'll come back around to you as we've done so far. We're going to start with the ladies first. We're going to start with Amy. And today is National Pie Day. What is your favorite pie?
Anything berry.
Awesome. Alan.
Same question. Pie would probably be pecan pie.
All right. Charles.
I'm with Alan. Pecan pie with a scoop of ice cream.
Mm-hmm.
Aaron, what's your favorite pie?
Gloria Canaz, sour cream blueberry pie.
Okay.
That's my mother-in-law's pie. She doesn't like me very much, but she makes a damn good pie.
Mine's going to be an apple pie. All right. Alan, we're going to start with you now. What would you consider the worst pizza topping ever?
Anchovies. That's easy.
Amy?
Come on.
Yeah, anchovies, but pineapple, like fruit doesn't belong on pizza.
Yes. All right. Aaron.
Pickled jalapenos. Better be fresh or don't do it at all.
All right. Charlie.
I hate the tomato sauce, but anchovies would be the nastiest thing you could put on them.
Yeah, see, mine's a toss-up between the anchovies and the pineapple. Neither one of those actually belong on pizzas, in my opinion.
Seems like
All right.
I love anchovies.
Anchovies.
Ooh. No.
That would be a great prank to play on someone you kind of were sideways with, as you order a anchovies and pineapple pizza and just have it delivered to them.
No.
Not that I'm vindictive or anything like that, but it could happen.
Linda, remind me to never tick you off. Okay. All right. So now we're going to start with Aaron. What is one gadget that you can't live without, and it cannot be your phone?
Ooh, one gadget I can't live without. My flashlight.
Okay. Charlie?
Motorcycle.
Gadget.
Oh, that's a good one. All right, Alan.
Are we calling vehicles gadgets? Because I can't
I'm
live
calling it a gadget. And this is the gadget rider.
Oh. All right. So, Alan, what you got?
Let's just go with pocket knife.
Amy?
Yeah, I was saying like that Swiss Army tool. I probably, yeah.
Mine's a wine opener. I can't do without that.
They have this in the Swiss Army tool.
Well,
Okay, there you go. I've got the one that's the motorized. I mean, you just press the button, it goes down, and it pulls the cork right up. It's
There
awesome.
you go.
Yeah.
All right. Charlie, if you could have an endless supply of any food, what would it be?
Chicken fried steak.
That's good. All right, Amy?
I'm just gonna say steak.
Alan?
Mine would be pizza.
Aaron?
Crispy topped pork belly.
Ooh,
That's pretty good.
That's
Do
good.
that right when you asked it.
That's good.
Yeah, that is good. That is good. Well, mine's not really a food, but mine would be margaritas. Mexican food. I love Mexican food. All right, Amy okay. If you had to wear one outfit for the rest of your life, what would it be?
One outfit? Man, I would probably be like a sweatpants and t-shirt. Like I would, yeah.
Yep. How about you, Charlie?
Shorts and flip flops.
Aaron?
That's going to be jean shorts and my American cat shirt. All day. Oh, this is John Cougar Mellencamp.
It is scary how quickly you had that at the ready.
Yes, it is.
It's my profile picture.
At least it wasn't his Daisy Duke shorts. Because I've seen those and it's not pretty.
Yeah, we can't
Shameless plug. If you want to see him in person, please show up to the Rockwall 4th of July parade, where I will always be in Daisy Duke shouting out USA.
Alan, what would be the one outfit?
I think mine would be gym clothes.
Okay.
Close.
Yeah, I'm shorts and flip flops as well. Oh my God, I can't stop now.
Well, we can't unsee that. That's for sure.
We really cannot.
But as a leader, you're privileged to see that.
Luckily, I'm not your leader.
That's fair. That's fair.
Oh, this is going south. All right, so we'll get a little more serious. If you could have dinner with any historical figure, who would it be? Aaron?
Let's see. Pass. But I want to come back to that. That's a good one.
Okay. Amy?
Man, historical figure. Man, I'm gonna have to pass on that. The historical figure.
Charlie?
Custer.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah. Okay. Alan?
I mean, mine would be something to do with a sports figure, probably Jimmy Johnson. See if he can figure out how to get the Cowboys back to where they once were.
Send Jerry Jones back to Arkansas. That'll happen.
Okay. All right. So.
Okay. Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic King.
Oh, wow.
I've been reading a lot of his stuff lately. And that's why I was like, that would be pretty neat. I'd love to see the cultural gap, but I run so high RPM, very high energy. And stoicism is very Zen, but my type of Zen. And I'm trying to get a little bit better at that. So yeah, Marcus Aurelius, that's a definite big historic figure that I admire.
So I was trying to like come up with something original, but the truth of the matter is Florence Nightingale. I know she's a nurse, and I know I'm a nurse, and it's so cliche, but here's the thing. She did something. She started something that's still around today. And it's like, I want to know, like, hey, what was your mindset? What were you thinking? Women did not have anywhere near the voice or authority that, you know, I don't like how I want to know. I want to talk to her. Yeah.
So mine would actually be Pocahontas, not the Disney character, the actual, I've always found that era very interesting, and the colonization and what the Indians went through. So I think that would be very cool perspective to be able to talk about. All right, guys. So we are wrapping up our rapid fire. First of all, I want to thank Amy and Aaron both for being on the show today. So I'd like to give you guys 30 seconds to let everybody know either how they can get a hold of you, how, you know, what they, Amy, you know, about Lake Pointe, to wrap that up. So we're going to go ahead, ladies first.
So I think if you want to contact me, obviously I'm at Lake Pointe, but also LinkedIn. I'm very visible on LinkedIn. And then with Lake Pointe, just make sure that if you haven't been to us or our clinics, we have radiology, outpatient rehab. We've got you don't have to go out of the community for your health care. We've got a lot of services here. Give us another try if you haven't seen Baylor Scott and White for a while, but we've done a lot of incredible things. So,
all right, Aaron, how about you?
I'm going to say Lakeside Leaders real quick. I got 30 seconds. Lakeside Leaders. That is all the businesses in the Rockwall community coming together with just $100. Any nonprofit is available to apply. So just all you got to do is go to the Lakeside Leaders Facebook. It'll tell you what you need to know. But if you're a nonprofit that is doing nonprofit work in Rockwall, so a 501c3 and your benefits come to the Rockwall area, you have an opportunity to win $10,000 at the end of the night. So if 100 businesses bring $100, that's 10 grand. Doc's Roofing is going to be there, but all of the charities that I represent, Texas Valor Program, Patriot Paws, they're going to be there hoping to win that 10 grand. So that's my 30 seconds. Plug that in. Otherwise, it's storm season. Give me a holler.
Well, and I'm going to chime in on that. The meeting, it's actually going to be on April 4th. It is at Standard Service.
I put it on the Facebook thread for
from
this.
from 5 to 6:30. So everybody, please come out and support our organizations that are doing good deeds here in Rockwall County. All right, Charlie, how about you? How can people get a hold of you?
Office number is 972-412-0150. Of course, we're on the interweb. Give us a call. We'll take care of you. Funny story. First time I met Amy was 2 years ago on Christmas Day. She had no heat in her house. And my wife, who works for her, says, I need your help. So I went over to see.
He truly saved our Christmas, and just phenomenal. Yep.
Well,
my wife thinks you're pretty awesome too.
You couldn't ask for better testimonials than those right there, right?
Yeah, that's great.
All right, Alan, and how can everybody get a hold of you?
All right, mine would be 214-681-0234, and then alester@tsmlending.com. But anything residential you need mortgage wise, I'd love to help, and then refer you right back over to Delisa.
And that's what, thank you. I appreciate that. So I'm Delisa Lapinsky. I'm your local Rockwall realtor here. You can get a hold of me at 214-329-3461. And I actually am a realtor that answers their phone, or delisa.lapinski@gmail.com. So I appreciate you guys. This was an amazing show. I was so excited for this. Thank you so much for being on the Community Difference Rockwall. There was probably bets, Lyndon, on whether I was going to say Plano. I made it through without doing that because I hosted the Plano show earlier today.
You're a pro. Anybody that can do 2 shows in a day and not cross up what town they're in, that's pretty good.
Yes.
We appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for being on the Community Difference-Rockwall. You know, this is what it's all about. It's connecting people together, learning about community, learning about businesses, and learning about how we can be better business leaders as well. You'll have an amazing day and happy Pi Day.
Thank you for watching today's show. The Community Difference-Rockwall is brought to you in part by Alan Lester, loan officer with the One Group with Town Square Mortgage. Delisa Lapinsky with Lapinsky Realty Group. Frank McLeod with Minuteman Press. Kane Pierce, Vice President and Commercial Banker for B1 Bank. Charles Barnaby with Barnaby Heating and Air. Brian Decker with Compass Facilities Consulting. And Josh Small with WeatherTech General Contracting.